Is Osita Izunaso. I represent the people of Imo West. Let me start by thanking the mover of this motion, Senator Ned Nwoko, for bringing it up. This motion has been lying in our order paper for a very long time, Mr. President, but I'm glad that today we're taking it. Mr. President, when we talk about oil theft, we're giving it a coloration. It is bunkering. It is oil bunkering. Let us not be promoting it to say oil theft. This is what is also known as bunkering. It is a major economic sabotage to our country. And the syndicate, those that are involved in this syndicate are so many that by the time you unravel it, you'll be scared about the people who are involved in bunkering in Nigeria. It's a very serious matter. So I wouldn't want us to trivialize this matter. This is a matter that we have to also go too deep to begin to unravel who are involved. How are we living like this? Why is this economic sabotage being tolerated over the years? And that brings me up to another issue, because for us to solve the issue of bunkering, it is multifaceted. We have to look at security measures. We have to look at community engagement. We also have to go inward to search ourselves to find out whether we truly want to stop this exercise. Mr. President, it has to be sustainable. It is not something that we do one swap and we leave it and go and face another thing. It is something that once we are serious about stopping bunkering, the programs for bunkering stoppage must be sustainable. It can be ad hoc. Because once you do that work and go back, the same people come back again because they know what they're benefiting from it. Mr. President, what baffles me is also the fact that these people can refine crude. They also refine crude. That brings me to the point I've made here on this floor before, that to refine crude is not a very difficult thing. Because the people who are doing this bunkering, they also refine crude. They refine the crude and they use it as PMS. So if they can use it on the street, if they can refine crude on the street, then what is the big deal about this crude, about importing PMS again? So these are some of the things that we have to look into. And in my state, where I come from, we want to thank the federal government for also approving the dredging of Uguta Lake to link it up to the Atlantic Ocean. That is also in an attempt to stop bunkering in our area. But by the time the Uguta Lake is dredged fully with naval support, because they're already there, we have a full naval presence now. So that is the Imo State government contributing their own quota towards stopping bunkering in Nigeria. So, no, not even improving, stopping. Because if you dredge the Uguta Lake, if you dredge it and link it up to the Atlantic Ocean, and the naval patrol goes on it, then there will be nothing like bunkering within those nautical miles. So I want to commend the Imo State government for this very big initiative. It has never happened before. And the federal government have approved it, which means that the government is also very sensitive to the plight of people who are suffering from this oil bunkering. Mr. President, I also want to make contribution when we are doing when we're doing the prayers. I would like to contribute. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Sadiq.
Or you're not. Mr. President, if you look at this motion, in supporting this motion, if you look at it, there are a lot of salient points he made. He said the bunkering started in 1970. We are in 2023 now, which means that's 53 years ago. Up till now, we've not been able to solve it. He said 2.3 trillion is being stolen every year. That's a lot of money. How much is even the budget of Nigeria? The biggest problem we have in this country, Mr. President, is punitive measure. All these things, there are a lot to it. A colleague of mine now was contributing. He even said at his backyard, he has been arresting people who are bunkering, doing bunkering at his backyard. But nothing has happened. There have not been any punitive measure. And the moment we continue like this, it will just be go day in, day out, it become a lucrative business because nobody is being punished for it. And if we said we don't know, like the sponsor of the motion said, that if you look at the third paragraph, it says, further note that statistical data which has been reported over the years, even till date, have shown that pipeline vandalism, oil bunkering have brought Nigeria into serious socio-economic problems. This is true. I remember every year, there's no single year, there's no motion from Niger Delta about oil bunkering. We set up a committee, we have this other committee. Still, as we are talking now, Mr. President, there's a special committee in the House of Rep on the same issue, bunkering. At the end of the day, nothing happened. Until the day we wake up and do what is called serious punishment, take a decision that this is our country, no matter who is involved. The moment you take that decision, people will sit up. So I remember when we were in the university, when the Tunde Idiagbon said, and Buhari, they said, look, don't take cocaine or don't smoke cocaine. If you do it, they are going to kill you. Sir, Ojulope and Bethlome, they were shot. For a very long time, our name was clean. Our name was a very, very clean name on in the map of the world. But when you look at it now, people laugh at us that you have everything. Day in, day out on the social media, they will say, you guys that have everything that you don't know what to do. Mr. President, in supporting this motion, we need to review our law and make sure there is a punitive measure for people who are trying to sabotage the economy. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Davidone.
My name is Ide Dafinone, and I represent the good people of Delta Central. I'm a co-sponsor of the bill, and I rise to support it and to lay greater emphasis on the need to stop the oil theft. The motion paper emphasized that the first quarter production for this year was at a level of 1.51 million barrels per day. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has released the second quarter figures, and the second quarter figures show production at 1.22 million barrels per day. OPEC, early in June, went ahead to reduce our quota to 1.38 million barrels per day from its previous level of 1.742 million barrels per day. Now, OPEC is doing that in order to shore up prices, but our lower levels of production make us an easy target for national quota figures to be reduced. The quota will be renegotiated in November this year, but I remember back 25 years ago where at a production level of 2.2 million barrels per day, the country made significant efforts to extend that quota in order to increase our revenues. The MD of NNPC Limited is on record recently as saying that during COVID, we had the capacity to produce up to 2.1 million barrels per day. Our 2023 budget is based on a benchmark quota of 1.69 million barrels per day, which means that the figures for production for the second quarter are actually at 28% below the budget targets. This gives us a significant impact on the ability to execute capital projects, and therefore, I believe that the figures can be shored up if we are to reduce the level of oil theft, and it would give us a greater opportunity to execute capital projects in the year 2023 and beyond if we're able to pass this motion, support this motion raised by distinguished Senator Ned Nwoko. Thank you very much, sir.
Distinguished Senator